I want to welcome everybody. This is a class on PDAHUB. I'm going to go over a few things, and this meeting is being recorded for your benefit, so you can watch it again later if you have any questions. Um, I'm going to show you two different PDAHUB screens, primarily because some warehouses do things a little bit differently. The one that is on the screen right now, if everybody can see it, is from Columbus. And what is different about Columbus is our PDAs are automatically processed and posted. And that's the reason why you'll see right here in this column under status that it all says auto or posted, is because we have our system set up to auto post all of our PDA transmissions. To get into PDAHUB, let's back up and start. You just type in PDAHUB, and the very first thing you'll want to do is clear your filters by hitting the F11 key, and this will bring up all the information that's in the PDAHUB file. The systems are configured to hold 4 to 5 days worth of PDA history, and that is the reason why you'll see right here that we have March the 2nd information available in the file. And if I go page down, you'll see that I can go down to the very bottom and you'll see today's orders in here of March the 7th. All right. Now, one of the things I'd like to show you is that you have the ability to review all your PDA transmissions for errors just by entering an E key and checking for errors. And there's no errors on this particular type right here on the record that I selected. And let's see. Do a F10, just refresh everything. All right, make sure. If there's a particular date that I'm looking for, I can type in the date 03/04 2014 here, and it'll bring up those particular records within the system. We also have the ability to look for a specific salesperson in the file. Something keeps changing. Keep the current color scheme. All right. So if I wanted, like, I know Leslie Peters' route is 9F4, I can select 9F4 and it will bring her data up that's been transmitted in, and it happens to be for the date of the 4th. And these were all her transmissions, the time that the transmission came in. And if there was an error in it, there would be a status code here. I also want to point out that there are different types of records that you will see within PDAHUB. The primary two that I see mostly is PO, and these are sales transactions that are coming in from the PDA. And then there's one called RB, which is for route book. And if I take and go over here and clear the date, get my cursor over here, get that information out, and we'll clear that out. How about if I just clear all filters? That'll work. We clear the filters, and right here we'll type in RB, and these are route book transmissions. And these, when a salesperson makes changes in their handheld, adding items that he wants included in the route book and deleting items, these are the transactions that come into the server and update the VIP system so that if his handheld needed to be restored, we can restore his route book information. Now, next thing I want to show you is that we can also go in and look at the data within one of these sales files by entering a C for review content. And this allows us to go in and see that he transmitted an order. It was for Giant Eagle and Hilliard. And these are the items and case of quibs that, actually this is route book data that we're looking at, that this is the information that went into his route book is what it is. So let me go back, and what we'll do is we'll F11, we'll clear again. Now we'll look at one of the orders. So let's look at like Todd Chicka, we'll look at one of his. All right, so here he transmitted in 2 orders in this particular data file. One for Anderson's for their case sales and another one for Anderson's for bottle sales. Our Anderson stores have multiple accounts because they like their stuff separated out. So for account number 90427, the case sales, you'll see the actual order details listed down here. And these are the items that were actually purchased underneath the case goods sales. And now we come down to customer account 90428, which just happens to be the Anderson bottles. And these are bottle sales against that particular account. All right. And you'll see that everything posted okay. There's no mention of any error on that as well. And so if we go back out of this, all right, we'll F3 out. And we can also look at the log file of that particular transmission if we wanted to and review it. And you'll see that it tells us in this particular file that the data started coming in it was started, and the upload came in from route 9F7 at our location. The sequence for this one was 268. And then it said that the verification was successful. If there was any errors, it would tell us here that what type of error there was, and that if the verification was also totally successful. And then when the posting completed, it tells us that the posting was successful and any auto editing was done. Now in Columbus, because we do auto post, we have a customer service group that can go into the system and using the program call-ins can make changes to the order by adding items to it before it is sent over for picking. So that's how we go about making changes. Now what I'll do is shift here for a second and show you something a little bit different. This particular view that we're looking at here, this one is from Cleveland. Well, no, that's not Cleveland. I take it back, because that's our guys. Let me make sure I get the right screen here. There it is. Okay, this one's Cleveland. And you'll see here that their orders are in for today, and the status of them is verified. A lot of the sites, say Columbus and Dayton do auto posts. The other sites will do an auto verify. So when the orders come in, they'll be verified by PDAHUB and check to see whether or not there were any errors within the transmission. And it'll post the status over here of being verified, saying that it did work. And what I'm going to do is just clear the filters on it and make sure everything's okay. Did you post these, Paul? I did.
No, when you do the clear filters.
Yeah, it changed my date. That's what it was.
Yeah, when you do the clear filters, we go back 3 days. And I use that to, like, if somebody said, hey, I sent my order in yesterday and it wasn't on the truck today, I could go back and look.
There you go. So they're still in a verified state. It scared me for a second. So
yeah, it scared me for a second too.
when I saw it go post. So you'll see that these are verified. Now, because they are not auto posted, you can actually go in and edit a particular order in PDAHUB by finding the particular transmission that you were looking for a particular sales rep, and you can go in, you can drop the load, you can undrop a load, you can go in the review content and actually change information that's in it. I'm just going to bring one up. I'm not actually going to do any changing on it, but we could actually go in and take and click on a line, I believe, and drop it. Isn't that right, Paul? So.
Yeah, yeah. In fact, I do that quite a bit when salesperson sells something, and then later on in the day, the customer tells them, "Hey, I don't want this or I don't want that," and I can drop things off their orders, and they can retransmit if they're adding things.
Okay, so the way it's done in locations other than Columbus as Dayton is a little bit different. The basic functions are still quite a bit the same, in the fact that you can go in and review and verify the information that's on a particular order. You can look to see whether or not there were any errors within the transmission. And if there's an order that does come in and it is transmitted in error, we can go through a process of having the salesman retransmit that order by dropping it and then having retransmitted in. Okay. And in the case of the other sites besides Columbus and Dayton, once you reach the end of the day and you're ready, then you would go in and take the orders and mark them for doing an auto post or a post so that the data then becomes available they're not available in the keyload file until you do this. Actually post them. Okay? Does anybody have any questions so far? All right. Is there anything you think I should have covered that I haven't covered, Paul?
No, you're doing good.
Okay. All right. Also, you have the ability, just to point out here, that you can print the screen information that's here. We can actually go in and pull up an order that was transmitted if we wanted to, and look at it, and then do an F6 print, and it would send all this information out to your local printer. Actually, this will put it into your DP file so that you can print it where you want it. This has been useful to our IT team because we can use it to send information to VIP about orders that we're having problems with as well. When the data is posted to the system, there is a Palm Edit report that gets processed that goes back to our salespeople, at least in Columbus and Dayton, I believe it is, for the auto post, so that they can see when they do their transmissions whether or not there were any errors in that transmission, and it's emailed to them, and they can take corrective action at that time. At the end of the day, when like Cleveland, when they post their orders to the system, those same Palm Edit reports are transmitted to the sales reps so that they know that their orders were submitted and what was contained in the orders. Let me see. I might ask you, Paul, since it deals a little bit with your site, if something comes up short because of the fact that you didn't have enough stock on hand, does that show up differently in your Palm PDA records?
Well, when the transmission comes through, if it has an error, what I do before we post them is I go through and I look at what the errors are, and if it's out of stock or if the item has been turned off after they have downloaded for the morning, so their PDA doesn't know that they can't sell it, and it comes up as an error. I take corrective action there, usually by dropping the item. Okay.
Okay.
As far as if there isn't enough stock, I'm not sure if the error is generated at this point in time, because I think the error would be generated if, well, I'm not really sure if the PDA knows that, because it's not a real-time thing.
Right.
The PDA gets its information when they download in the morning. Hopefully they do that every morning, and then it sends it at the night, so it doesn't know if an item is out of stock at the time that it's sold. No.
But items that are on allocation come up as an error as well.
I would say so.
Yes. Okay. All right. Again, I would toss the question out. Is there any questions among those that are watching the class that you'd like to see if you can get an answer to as you have used PDAHUB?
Well, I can tell you with the new G8, the whole licensing thing and the registration is a little more intense than it was before. If a PDA device isn't registered properly, it won't verify. There's 2 times that it's checked. It's checked when the order is sent from the PDA, and then it's checked again when it's posted. And you have to be real careful and make sure everything's lined up right on that. Otherwise, you'll get an error, and they have to deal with it before it'll accept the order.
Yeah, we've seen that happen here, and when we first started the licensing for the PDAs being registered in VIP, and that is that the order would come in from the PDA, but it wouldn't auto post or post to the system until we actually updated the license and the VIP, the WWVIP license file for that device, and then it would accept it. So we could verify and then process and accept that by posting it. That's a good point, Paul. So if you send a PDA out for repair and it comes back and you had to rebuild it, you may find that if you forgot to update the license file and register that device, that the orders won't accept or process in PDAHUB until you do. All right. Anybody else? Well, as you can see, you can get a lot of information out of PDAHUB. You can go back and if a salesperson calls in and says they want to know if an order actually made it in, you can easily go and find them in the PDAHUB file. Look that particular, you can ask them approximately what time they transmitted in, so that it makes hunting for the right file that it came in on. And you can check to make sure that it was processed okay, and be able to let them know. It'll also save you time in some of our cases to verify this file first, rather than going in and manually punching the file using call-ins or doc sales in order to be able to rekey that order in. Because if there was an error in the process in PDAHUB, you'll find out about it, and you can recover it and save you some steps of having duplicate orders as well that could go out on a delivery truck to a customer. So with that, if nobody has any more questions, Thanks, and I hope you found the information useful.
Thank you.